On a humid summer day in July 1954, the bustling corridors of Haneda Airport, Tokyo's international gateway, hummed with the rhythms of post-war recovery. Japan was once again opening its doors to the world. Among the steady flow of diplomats, businessmen, and tourists, one man stood out, not by his appearance, but by what he carried in his pocket. Dressed in a neatly pressed gray suit, the man approached the customs counter with confidence. He was Caucasian, well-groomed, and fluent in French and Japanese. Nothing about his demeanor suggested trouble. But when asked his nationality, he quietly answered a word no one in the room had ever heard before. Taured. The customs officials exchanged puzzled glances. Taured was not listed among the world's recognized nations. Politely, but firmly, they asked him to clarify. The man, now visibly confused, insisted. Taured was a sovereign nation, located between France and Spain. It had existed for over 1,000 years. And in that moment, the quiet machinery of international travel gave way to a mystery that would puzzle generations to come. Following standard protocol, airport officials requested his passport. What they found deepened the enigma. The document appeared authentic, stamped by several countries and issued by the government of Taured. Its design, although unfamiliar, bore the hallmarks of legitimate state authority. But when officials brought out a world map pointing to the Iberian Peninsula, the man was dumbfounded. In the place where he claimed his country lay, there was nothing but Andorra, a tiny principality nestled in the Pyrenees. He became agitated, insisting that Taured had been there for centuries, a peaceful country known to its neighbors. The Japanese authorities, now both alarmed and intrigued, contacted immigration officials, embassy representatives, and government agencies. No one, in Japan or abroad, could verify the existence of Taured. Standard security procedures quickly turned into an international inquiry. The man's wallet contained currency from several European countries, suggesting extensive travel. His business documents, too, seemed legitimate, issued by a company that, according to Tokyo business registries, did not exist. He spoke confidently of his company's Tokyo office, where he claimed to be meeting with business partners. But when officials called the company's supposed contact in Tokyo, they found no such organization at the listed address. Even the hotel where he claimed to have a reservation had never heard of him. By late afternoon, it was clear. The man either came from a place no one else could find, or he was engaged in one of the most elaborate hoaxes the post-war world had ever seen. Unwilling to release him without answers, Japanese authorities placed the man in a secure hotel room, under guard, while they investigated further. He remained calm, expressing confusion rather than fear, and assured them that his predicament was simply a misunderstanding. That night, the guards stood outside his door without pause, but when they opened the room the next morning, the man from Taured was gone. There were no signs of forced entry, no fire escape tampered with, no evidence of how he could have left without being seen. He had vanished, leaving behind a room untouched except for his mysterious passport resting quietly on the nightstand. In the decades since his disappearance, the story of the man from Taured has fueled countless theories. Chief among them is the idea of parallel universes, the possibility that our reality is but one thread in a vast cosmic tapestry of alternate worlds. According to this hypothesis, the man from Taured may have slipped by accident or design from a parallel timeline where his nation existed in place of Andorra. If this is true, it suggests not only the existence of other worlds, but that under certain unknown conditions, they can briefly intersect with our own. Though fringe to some, this theory gained unexpected support from advancements in quantum physics, particularly the many worlds interpretation, which proposes that countless realities coexist, each the result of different choices and circumstances. The idea of parallel worlds is far older than modern science. In ancient Hindu cosmology, multiple universes, or lokas, exist simultaneously, each with its own gods, beings, and physical laws. In medieval Islamic philosophy, thinkers like Ibn Arabi spoke of countless worlds layered within creation. Even in Western folklore, tales of fairy realms and hidden kingdoms suggest places that exist alongside our own, glimpsed only by those who accidentally step across the threshold. In many cultures, such crossings were seen as dangerous, disorienting, and often temporary. The man from Taured fits into this long tradition, a stranger who arrived from elsewhere, only to vanish as suddenly as he appeared. Skeptics offer more mundane explanations for the Taured incident. Some suggest it was an elaborate urban legend, perhaps inspired by earlier passport fraud cases or Cold War paranoia. Others argue that the story was distorted over time, its core details exaggerated by retellings in books, magazines, and eventually the internet. There is no contemporary newspaper record of the incident, and Japanese government archives make no mention of it. Many researchers believe the story likely originated from a blend of real border incidents involving stateless individuals and the creative imaginations of mystery writers in the 1960s and 70s. If so, the man from Taured is not a visitor from another world, but a product of our fascination with the unexplained. Adding to the intrigue is the historical context of Haneda Airport itself. In the 1950s, Japan was still under the shadow of post-war reconstruction and Cold War tension. Border security was tightening globally, and incidents involving refugees, exiles, and displaced persons were common. Haneda Airport, like many post-war ports of entry, saw its share of unusual cases: false passports, escaped prisoners, and political defectors. In such a chaotic environment, the sudden appearance of a man with an unrecognized passport might have been interpreted through the lens of mystery rather than bureaucracy. Yet, no official records, witness testimonies, or government files have surfaced to verify the story. Intriguingly, the name Taured is similar to Taured, a variant transliteration of the ancient Tuareg people of North Africa, nomads whose kingdom once spanned across vast Saharan trade routes. Though likely coincidental, this linguistic overlap adds another layer to the story. Some theorists also note that alternative history maps, works of speculative cartography, sometimes depict fictional nations in the Pyrenees. In speculative fiction, Taured has been imagined as a peaceful mountain kingdom, lost in the folds of forgotten timelines. But in the geography of our world, Taured has never existed, neither in ancient nor modern history. Other researchers argue that the man from Taured may have experienced a time slip, a sudden involuntary displacement in time rather than space. Throughout the 20th century, reports surfaced of individuals stepping briefly into the past or future, often describing confusion and disorientation. In such cases, individuals have found themselves in streets filled with outmoded vehicles, or speaking to people dressed in fashions from another era. Theories of temporal displacement, while unproven, continue to fascinate physicists and science fiction writers alike. Could the man from Taured have been a traveler not from another world, but from another time? Despite its unresolved nature, the story of the man from Taured has endured for over half a century. It has appeared in paranormal anthologies, television documentaries, and countless online forums. For some, it is a cautionary tale of border control and bureaucratic oversight. For others, it is a tantalizing hint that reality is more fragile and complex than we imagine. His disappearance, whether real or legendary, represents the eternal human fascination with travelers from beyond, whether they come from distant lands, parallel worlds, or the future itself. Whether the man from Taured was a hoax, a lost traveler, or a dimensional anomaly, his story endures because it taps into something timeless, the possibility that our world is not alone, that reality itself may be layered with unseen worlds, only glimpsed in fleeting moments. Perhaps somewhere in another version of history, Taured flourishes between France and Spain, its citizens unaware that in our world, their nation never existed, and maybe in that world, a man once vanished without a trace, lost in a place they called Japan. You've just explored another mystery with JB Animated Mysteries. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And turn on notifications so you never miss a story where facts and fiction collide. Until next time, the truth is out there. Keep looking.